Y'all, hey, come on in. Look at what I'm eating for breakfast this morning. Something light and real easy to fix. I believe in eating a good breakfast in the morning. Not nothing too heavy, not nothing too sweet, but I always like to start my day out with a breakfast. If it's 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, whatever time, I just like to start out with a good breakfast. So if along the way sometime during the day I might take it a little bit further, because when you're diabetic you need to be able to eat your food and eat the right thing on time. I do a lot of cooking, and I cook a lot of stuff that I probably should not eat, but some of it I eat it anyway, and I do it in moderation. So this morning I'm having some nice fresh strawberries and blueberries. Can you tell I like strawberries and blueberries? I love them. So that's what I'm having as my fruit this morning. And of course I've got some nice turkey bacon, a couple of soft scrambled eggs, and my favorite toast in the world, raisin toast. And there's my coffee. See all the turmeric marks? That's my coffee with the turmeric. And I try to do that as often as I can so that I can just help a few other things along the way naturally. So remember the other day when we talked, I sat out on the porch and I talked about being the best you that you can be. Well, one of the things that you have to always keep in mind is that the world does not revolve around us solely, even though we can have that mindset and sort of think about ourselves as the best thing since a bag of chips. And by the way, I do think that I am, because you know what? I serve an awesome God, and that's the same God that made me who I am today. So I can think like that, but I also know He wants us to share what we have, whatever talents we have, whatever resources that we have. And let me just say this too, and all this is coming to the forefront for me right now, because as I told you, I've opened my nonprofit organization whose goal is to help people to help themselves, to help people who are having a difficult time along the way trying to get those things accomplished that they want to get accomplished in life. So what I do, my piece of that action is to come in and try to help people. And I don't mind helping people. And sometimes we have to bend over backwards to help people. So my thing is this: if you're going to set out to help somebody, go into it with the mindset that you, in some instances, you may have to do a little bit more for them than they're doing for themselves. Now, we don't want you to go overboard with doing that, but at least be willing to do that. So one of the things that I'd like to talk about is when we go into helping someone, and I'll give you a little scenario. If you were helping someone to find a job, and you had to call an individual or a company or some people that you know to get that person, you know, connected to that possible job, and you give them all the information. Now let me just say this to you: if a person is looking for a job and they're sort of down on their luck and don't have a lot of resources, that's where we might have to step in and sort of bend over a little bit further than just giving them a phone number or a name. Okay, you may even have to go pick that person up and take them to the job site, to the person, to make the introduction. You might have to help them out with something to wear, what to say, how to fill out that application. And you know what? Even sometimes after you've done that, if that person is not accustomed to doing those things on their own, you may still have to step in. Because my belief is that when people are having a hard time, that they kind of sort of need more than them 3 tries. You know how that 3 strikes you out? I believe in giving that 4th, that 5th. You know what? Sometimes I've even given people 10 strikes, because that might be the time that they're going to get it, they're going to catch on to it, and they're going to move forward. And then there have been times I've given 20 and nothing happened, and I'm still working on some of those, but that's okay too. But it's whatever's in your heart about helping people, about caring for people. So just keep that in mind, whether you have a business to do it through, or whether you do it as a neighbor or a friend, or just out of the goodness of your heart when you encounter somebody on the street. Always remember, but for the grace of God, that person could be you. And I always tell my children, I love people, and I love doing things for people. And I'm not a pushover, so, you know, don't get me wrong. Don't take my kindness for weakness. But I am a kind-hearted person, and I believe in helping people to get to where they're going. And I fully believe that sometimes you have to go that extra mile to help people. You have to be that good Samaritan sometimes. You can't say, well, I gave it to him, I put it out there, and now I'm done. And, you know, if you're that type of person, oh well. I'm talking to the people who want to do more, who can do more, who have done more, and who are willing to do more to help their fellow man. Because after all, we are our brother's keeper, not to the point of being used. Because I tell people all the time, the minute I feel like I'm being used in a purposeful, negative way, then I'm done. But if things are happening that may mirror being used, and it happens because that's just life, or that person did not really mean it that way, or it just so happened that, you know, they got something else going on that was out of their control. So we have to consider people. Everybody's not like us. And I learned that a long time ago. Everybody is not me, so I can't expect everybody to be me. But I do expect this. I expect that if I treat you well, I feel like I deserve to be treated well in return. Now, it might not happen all at once. There again, we got to go that extra mile, and we got to pull that out of our fellow man. Because you know what? The worst thing that you can have is a bad neighbor. You got to work with those neighbors who might not be exactly like what you want them to be, or that person in the office that might not do their fair share. You got to put that in your mind, and then you got to let the things that are already in place work those things out, and not let your heart grow hardened toward any individual for any reason. Do we have art with people sometimes? Yes, we do. But we have to learn how to get over those arts so that we can do what we're supposed to do in the way of helping our fellow man. And while I'm talking here, I'm going to have a cup of my good old coffee. That coffee is so good, and that turmeric in there just makes it, oh, I love that flavor. So anybody that loves a good cup of coffee and want to sort of do something natural for your health, throw your little turmeric in that cup of coffee. It's wonderful. But anyway, back to our talk. We, as individuals, have to learn how to be mature enough and wise enough to know, again, that everybody is not going to respond the way we would respond. We have to respect a person's right to respond differently than what we do. And please don't hold it against them and say, well, if she's that way, I'm going to be this way, and I'm not going to be bothered with it. Again, there are plenty of folks like that. Have I done it? Yes, I've done it, but I learned that doing that just made that person's situation that much worse. So all I'm trying to do this morning is just say, consider your fellow man when you walk out your door in the morning. Consider your fellow man when you meet them along the way, and use wisdom in doing that. I always tell my children, when you're in a situation, I don't care what it is, always give yourself that split second to step back and really see that situation before you plunge into a decision on what you're going to do and how you're going to handle a thing. That helps me a lot. It helps me not say the wrong thing sometimes, not do the wrong thing sometimes. And it feels good when you take that step back. Have you ever started to say something about a situation and you just want to say it because you just want to say it, and then that wisdom kicks in and you pull back and you shut that pie hole and don't say it, don't let nothing come out of that pie hole, and then that next split second somebody else will come along and say it, or something will happen and you think, thank you Lord I didn't say anything. So that split second, if you can step back just that split second, it will resolve more things than you realize. And I'm not naive enough to think that there aren't some things that warrant, you just got to make that on the spot decision that as soon as it comes in your face, you got to do it. But I tell you what, if you've never tried stepping back, try it sometimes and see what happens. Because a negative situation is a negative situation. So I mean, what's the difference? If it's going to be negative from start to finish and you didn't step back, it's still negative. If you step back and give it a chance to be positive, it may turn out positive. Might not turn out 100%, but it may turn out that you can work through it. So think about that and sort of, you know, you can apply that anywhere in life, at work, at home, at play, in the grocery store, when you're out shopping, wherever you are. And just always think that for every situation, there's a consequence, whether it's bad or good. Those are the principles that I try to live by. I try to teach my children. Do they always listen? No. However, the time that they do listen turns out pretty good usually. Or sometimes they come back and say, well, I ain't like that now. You had me doing so-and-so, and it got me doing such and such. I'm thinking to myself, well, at least you didn't get in trouble behind it. It might draw you into doing more than you want to do. Well, oh well. It's still, if you can avoid a negative situation, because again, the Bible says, do right as often as possible. So today's word or thought that I'm going to leave with you, so I can go ahead and eat my nice breakfast, is to do right as often as possible, as I left with you before, and to take a second to step back in any situation and see what that next second will bring for you. So here's for sharing with you. I appreciate you coming along with me this morning. I got to get this breakfast done because I got to get up and get out of here and get downtown to the office, y'all. It's Friday morning and I am on my way. I hope that you have a wonderful, blessed day as I'm having. I'm going to go in a few minutes and I'm going to feed the birds. See, I've got them some nice onion rolls that I've kind of kept past the expiration date, and I don't want to throw them away. So I'm going to break them in little pieces, and the birds are going to have some nice onion rolls this morning. So I'm going to go out. I don't know if you can hear them or not, but I'm going to go out there, down the stairs, while I sit here until I finish sitting here watching and looking at nature and just observing all the things that are free. All this is free, y'all. I mean, I paid for it along the way, but 10, 15 years later, it's free now. It has become free. How about that? Just look. Okay, y'all. I'm going to sit back now, relax, and enjoy my breakfast. So, until we talk again, I'm going to say toodaloo. Have a blessed day.